It is a Tuesday. Hopefully you guys had a lovely long weekend. I know I definitely did. I was at church. You know how I'll be doing. Let me know what you guys are doing on the long weekend. It is EKSE Live on Instagram, on Twitter, as well as on Facebook. If you missed out on their first interview, don't worry. They're back. And today, right now rather, in this interview, we're going to be talking about the steps in which you need to take if you want to purchase your first home. Of course, we have in the studio Kevin Jacobs as well as Chelsea Bennette. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, child. Again, welcome to the show. Thank you for staying.
Thank you.
Let's go back to the last question I asked you that we couldn't answer. Talk to us about the training program when it comes to being a real estate agent.
Okay, so yeah, it's right now we have quite a big drive to bring new people into the business. There's a lot of opportunity, and I can tell you we made some mistakes when we first started. So I started in about 2015, 2014, and you know, you'd bring people on and chuck them up against the wall. If they stick, and if they don't, they don't. That didn't really work, and then you know, so we changed things, and now we've got quite I believe to be the best training program in the country.
Oh, wow.
We have about 25 interns on our candidate property practitioners on our training program. It's managed by our mentor, which is a guy by the name of Liam Williams. And with that training program, we go through the entire process about getting your qualifications. So we help them with the NQF4, help them with logbooks, and also all the activities and everything else that you need to do as a professional real estate in order to grow your business. And I'm very proud to say that on a monthly basis, we have about 2 up to 4 of the candidate property practitioners in our top 10.
Oh, wow.
And let me tell you something, we got 119 agents. So I think it's a pretty amazing achievement. And
it really is.
We're very proud of the training program. I think Liam and his team have done a fantastic job. And Chelsea is also on that training program.
Woohoo.
And it's really there to make a difference. So
and as you can see, they are clearly rising to the top, which is absolutely what we love to see. Excellence, not just being on the bar. But if someone is watching and saying, hey, actually, I am interested in the program, where can I go? Which website should I log into? Or actually just to ask any questions, really.
Yeah. I think the first thing to do is actually, you know, go and do your research and find and go and ask around and try and find a real estate company that fits you. And also go and have when you're talking to them, you need to firstly find out if people are willing to take on new candidates.
True.
Not all real estate companies are taking on new candidates. And if they are taking on new candidates, what sort of a training program do they have in place to assist new candidates in becoming a professional, fully qualified property practitioner?
All I'm hearing is that you need to do your research to make sure that you guys are ending up with the perfect people for you. Now let's go back to the initial parts where I talked about if you are a property owner and you want to buy your first property, do you have some advice for a young person out there, or actually a person out there in general who's like, you know what, I'm ready to take this step? Chelsea?
So I would say the first step is actually speaking to a bond originator. So we work in-house with Better Bond, and they'll be able to actually tell you what you qualify for based on your income and expenses, so you know that you're looking within the right range of properties. Secondly, you need to choose an area, looking at the long-term growth as well as your current needs. And you can take it from there to meet all your needs and work with your bond originator quite closely to get the suitable property for you.
And then if someone maybe is like, okay, I always hear government subsidizing. What does that mean actually? Because you're like, okay, this is what the government is saying to me, but what does that actually mean for me?
Okay, so it depends. There are government subsidies. It depends on what your income bracket is. So you can have joint income up to about 22,000 Rand per month. You need to be a first-time home buyer, and you could not. So obviously, you couldn't have owned a property before, and so you have to qualify and. It's a fantastic opportunity because it does help with the affordability. So a lot of people who might not qualify for a home loan can qualify with that government subsidy.
But what are the pros and cons to that? While we're on that point, there are no cons.
No.
You're getting property.
There's no cons. There's no cons. I mean, it's the government assisting people, and what they really want to do is they want to try and help people purchase properties, because when you own a home, it changes your life. So there's no downside to it. And there's only upside if you do qualify. So
And going back to the bond originator, if you have someone good, they can actually help you with that application to the government for that subsidy as well.
Yeah. And then now last question for you guys is, okay, I've made the step and now I'm at the final stage. What do you think are the last things that should say this is actually the perfect agent for me to stay with? Because a lot of times it'll be like, you must look at different agents, most of them are good, but what's that thing where it should tell you, okay, this is the perfect people that I need to work with to find me that perfect home?
Well,
for you,
that agent needs to have exposure to your perfect home.
Okay.
So it doesn't help to have a very strong relationship with an agent who can't find you that perfect property. So you need to find an agent that is good at developing relationships with other agents as well.
Okay, got you.
Because they might not have a property that suits your needs, but then are they able to talk to another agent that might have that perfect property, and the other agent, are they open to dealing with that agent? So and obviously it needs to be somebody that delivers on their promises, and mostly around communication, all of those kind of things, those softer skills.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for chatting to us. I mean, I really appreciate your time. But before I let you go, if someone wants to find out more about your company, where could I go? What's your website?
Remaxpremier.co.za.